Alright, geeks and ghouls, I was not supposed to do another video, and this will be an unscripted one, maybe even unedited, but I just watched Daniel Green's video about his misadventures on Goodreads. And don't worry, I'm not turning into an booktube slash authortube commentary channel, but I just wanted to tell you what happened and what you should do if you're an author and you have your book messed up on Goodreads, because I have been there not as an author, as a librarian. I had applied to be a Goodreads librarian for quite some time now, and I know a lot of writers, mostly in Greece, where I come from, and I have often helped people with their books when it gets messed up for reasons. So, what happened with Daniel Green? Well, he's outraged with Goodreads again, because he has a long tradition of being dissatisfied with the Goodreads experience, and I can get that. Goodreads is definitely made with readers in mind, so while there is an option for claiming an author page, it's not ideal. It's just there as a way to add extra value to the readers, not as a way to, and I get that their ways of working as an author in Goodreads is very half-assed, and maybe it's a good idea not to be too bothered with Goodreads if you're an author. There are ways about that, but that's another video. Let's assume that you're a Goodreads user and somebody messes your books. And let's be honest here, sometimes the way a librarian or a user messes your books is actually what they're supposed to do per the Goodreads terms of service, like for instance merging different versions of a self-published book. I mean, if you had a self-published book and you on KDP and you pulled it down and then republished it with another title, but with most of the text intact, then it's a good idea to merge those two editions. That's what the rules of Goodreads say, even though you may don't want to, or I'm not sure about what's the policy with dead names, or some very embarrassing old covers that you upload and you want them scrubbed from the face of internet, but you can't do that. They're there to stay, because that's what Goodreads is all about, cataloging the books people have read and their reviews, and keep them away even if the book is not available anymore. So yeah, if you're planning to jokingly or drunkenly publish a very embarrassing titled book, it's there to stay on Goodreads, and there is nothing you can do about it. Okay, but enough with tangents here. What happened with Daniel Green? Daniel Green had a book some months ago, A Bridge of Peace, that was very successful as far as I know, and he tweeted about a sequel the other day. And it was just a tweet with a possible title and a very short synopsis. And one of his numerous fans, because he has many fans, went on Goodreads and made a book with that potential title and with that tweet as a synopsis. And Daniel Green saw that, and he acted like an author, which means that he wanted the thing fixed. And he went through a very convoluted mess trying to fix the problem himself. And this may happen to you. And that's what you do, what I suggest you do, and what I had helped other people do in the past. You should, if you're an author, you should definitely know a Goodreads librarian. Maybe even apply to be a Goodreads librarian yourself. But take this advice with a grain of salt, because I've been a Goodreads librarian for years and years now, and you may feel tempted to fix your books there, and it's a bad idea. Don't do that. Don't touch your books if you're a Goodreads librarian. And actually, there are some changes that only moderators can do. You should definitely have some librarian contacts. If you know nobody who's a Goodreads librarian, you can always pop into some of the groups in Goodreads and ask if there's a librarian here, maybe a Facebook group. I need the help from a Goodreads librarian, or in a fiction Reddit, is there a Goodreads librarian here and help? And tell them what has happened in that. And there is also a discussion group. I'll leave the link below where you can submit your request to have your book changed by somebody who's following the thread, mostly super librarians, which are the moderators, as I called them in the video. But yes, there are some things that Goodreads is not willing to do to help authors or catalog proper books or something. It's there for the readers, and that's why a lot of the problems that exist in Goodreads, and there are many problems with that, many of the problems stem from that simple design policy that is not there for accurate depiction of your books and as a selling tool for them as an author. It's them for readers to know there's a rumored book coming, to speculate about it, to mark it as to read until it comes out. And actually, when Daniel Green puts his book out, the sequel, there's a good chance there will be a double entry, because Amazon automatically adds every book on Goodreads on its own. So there's a confusion there. Or, there's stuff like that, obviously. So it can get very complicated, but an experienced librarian can fix this very easily and within the bounds of the rules of Goodreads. So if your book gets messed up on Goodreads, and it's not something unreasonable, but if you just have your book registered wrong, or twice, or another name, or another author, because you both have the same names, or you have a name of an author, well, actually, if you translate my name in English, you can shorten it to Michael George. So I'm the reverse Michael of sorts, right? So if I'm publishing a book as Michael George, and another Michael George author comes in and also throws this book in, there's a good chance that I'll have a book by another author in my profile. So that's where Goodreads librarian can come in and create a new profile for the other author, etc. There are ways around this. There are ways to fix this. It's kind of fun to see some of the mistakes on Goodreads sometimes. It's a train wreck. Mistakes happen. If something is off with your author profile on Goodreads or with your books, just go out and contact a librarian to fix that. Period. And just don't mess with support, and don't rage about it on YouTube or Twitter or Facebook, because it will fix nothing. Okay, so that's what you do in Daniel Green's case, and that is what Daniel Green should have done. He should have tweeted, "Hey, is there a Goodreads librarian here? I need a favor." And he has a huge audience, somebody would do it. So that's all. Thank you for watching. If you thought that this video was helpful, press the like button and share it with other author friends. It's a good idea to have this information around. So long.